Hello, my bodacious beans. How are we doing today? Hi, Sparkle. Hi, Stars. And hi, BP. Thank you for the bits. Oh my goodness. Have I actually posted things everywhere I'm supposed to? I think I did. We're doing... I will hydrate. I will. I'll do it. Oh, we're gonna get all sorts of noises all in a row here. I did add... If you haven't been here in a while, I did add some sounds and funny alerts for kicks and giggles because I wanted to, and it's my stream and I make the rules. Okay.
Oh my god, why can't you just take the freaking compliment?
Okay. Thank you, Grim, for resubscribing. I appreciate it. There's a fucking hype train. What's happening? Oh my god! The first ever hype train, you guys. Today's fun. I considered not streaming, and I'm glad that I made myself do it. I need to stretch, and I need to give myself a compliment. Yeah, for real, Sparkle. Compliment. I'm pleased with myself for actually using you guys as a body double to do... Oh, holy shit. Okay. Thank you. I can make a compliment happen with my brain. I can do this. I know how to make a sentence. I promise. I'm proud of myself for being smart enough to use you all as body doubles to get this thing done that I haven't done in a while. That I would like to get done. So I very much used my brain smarts. Oh my god, I'm getting appreciated. How dare you? Okay, I also need to stretch. And I'm realizing the thing that I forgot to do was I forgot to open up the rewards queue. Let me do that. And I did see that you got some good folks in that gift bomb. This button. I know what I'm doing. No, I don't. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Or folks. I don't know. I've gone back to saying guys more often. Maybe I shouldn't, but I also think that it's probably fine. And I'm probably overthinking it. So, the two major things that are happening today. One, it's a Red Bull day because I'm trying to shake the depression out of my brain, and I'm thinking that maybe the caffeine will do it. We'll find out. That is a mood, Sparkle. That's what I'm doing with the Red Bull, because I've been sleeping way too much, and that's how I can tell that I'm in a place that I need to work on getting out of. Because I've slept more than 10 hours for the past 3 nights, which is... Like, it's good. It's good that I'm getting some rest, but also that's a sign that I'm not doing so great. But we're also going to sort through all these gummy bears. So I'm going to tell you a story behind the gummy bears. You may notice once I show you that we also have a bag of only orange gummy bears here. These are for Lib. Liberty. I think you guys have mostly heard me ramble about Lib before. If you don't know Lib is another streamer who is very cool and chaotic and fun, and their entire branding is based around gummy bears, and their favorite flavor of gummy bear is orange, and I don't like the orange ones. So the last time I got a bag of gummy bears, this is my favorite brand. I'm not sponsored, but I'm willing to be. So Albanese, if you need somebody to talk up your gummy bears, let me know. But the last time I got a bag of these, I separated out all the orange ones with the intention of sending them to Lib. And I also take out all the grape ones and give those to my brother because I don't like grape either. But Albanese are special gummy bears because they come in 12 different flavors versus like the 5 that you get in other brands. I also just like these flavors better. So these are my favorite gummy bears. So I have a 5-pound bag of these. This is the second 5-pound bag. Yeah, grape gummy bears in this one. Do they have a list on the back of here? I don't think they do. Oh, there we go. So they have 12 different flavors. And there's some like weird gummy flavors, like ones that you wouldn't normally get. I will read them aloud to you now. So there's cherry, strawberry, mango, pineapple, lemon, orange, green apple, watermelon, pink grapefruit, lime, blue raspberry, and grape. And I'm about to sneeze. Hold on a second. Excuse me. Not that you could hear that, so I don't know what I'm excusing. Excuse the mute. Excuse the weird voice wobble that I got before I sneezed. Thank you. Um, so yeah, we're gonna sort through gummy bears, but there's something else that we need to do while we're sorting through the gummy bears. And I considered staying in the art category for this, I'm not gonna lie, because I want to take some reference photos of the gummy bears to use for making a washi tape design. Yes, Sparkle. I love those movies. Those movies are so good. Um, there's only two, right? I have both of them, if it's only the two. But I did this painting back in November. Um, and these paintings were specifically just like fun little things. I wasn't going to sell them. I wasn't going to monetize them. I was just kind of letting myself do art just to do art. But I had a lot of fun doing the gummy bears, and so I kind of want to give this a go where I'm taking it super serial. Thank you so much for the hype train. I really appreciate it. You guys are so niceies to me. So niceies. Oh, did you get the Nom one? I think that one's pretty cute. Some of the new hype emotes are very strange. The disco ball vexes me. I'm not sure why, but there's one where he's like saucy sitting on his side and looking at you like paint me like one of your French girls, and it kind of weirds me out a little bit, not gonna lie. What was I saying? Anyway, I painted these gummy bears. I'm gonna do another one that's more serious, and because I wasn't monetizing any of these paintings, I didn't pay super close attention to copyright stuff on images, reference images. So in order to do this in a way that I feel more comfortable with, and since I already have the gummy bears, we're gonna take our own reference photos for redoing this. And I do want to try and make it so that it's a repeating pattern on the paper, so that it's easier for me to stitch together to make a repeating pattern. Which is going to involve some off-stream work that I'll do, because there is a trick to it if you're doing traditional, but I can also do that digitally and then transfer the line art to the actual paper. I even have a piece of paper cut for it because I was super prepared last night, and I cut paper to do the next quilt block too, which I'm glad that I got an art block of this.
This is Joan.
Praise Lucifer.
Praise Lucifer. So I actually got these cut, and I'm glad that and thank you for the bits, BP. Sorry, I'm gonna get distracted by my own alerts and forget to say that. But I'm glad that I got that paper as yes. I told Stars this the other day, but I was on stream and I was like, oh, I just thought of a really good 666 bit alert. So I should do that. And I wrote it down in my sketchbook. And then I went back to look at my like personal Discord server that I use as like a notepad. And I looked in the stream stuff that I hadn't looked at for ages. And that same note was there. And it was the last one from like a year and a half ago. So my brain is like, praise Lucifer whenever I see 666, I guess. And I just forgot that I had already thought of that. But the block of paper, there was like a fault in it. So I'm really glad that I'm using it for smaller things and not like using it as a big thingy bopper. Those are technical terms. Yeah, I also, sorry, I'm flipping through my sketchbook trying to find the page. Oh, it was in the back, that's why. I also did the maths on our little week of surprises sticker idea to see vaguely what price would be reasonable to sell those at, and I think around $40 or $42 for 5 stickers and or six single stickers, and then a sticker sheet is going to be the thing. The packaging and stuff isn't super bad money wise, but it is something that will take more time, so I need to like pay myself, I guess is the way to put that. But I don't know if that's like beyond what people would be willing to pay for it. That is a fair price, but you know, things are different. Okay, so before we do anything else, as I hope that this bag isn't super loud, we're gonna take a photo of all of the gummy bears in here. And one of the things that I find very intriguing about gummy bears is how the light goes through them. Just for the record, I have washed my hands really, really well, and I did not sneeze into my hands when I sneezed. Yeah, that's fair, Grim, but also, I think that I could turn up my light. It's looking a little dark today, huh? The sun hasn't come up yet, so... Well, it has a little bit, but not like a lot. I have had like 5 sentences that I started and then never finish. I mean, they are my gummy bears, but I'm pulling all the orange ones out to send to Lib. So I would like my hands to be clean. I'm also pulling out all the grape ones for my brother. So not having snot on my hands, I feel like is like the minimum amount of consideration. But I just kind of want to make these guys look good. So we're gonna mix up some colors. But I love the way the light goes through them. Because it's not quite like glass, but they do get that like refractive light on the edge here that I think is really interesting and fun. So I may also pull some of these and take a photo of them lined up so that you can see the shadow or the refracted light, however those words are supposed to go. But I do want to get some with like a good mix of colors going. Because I was also thinking I could take a photo of just the orange ones and do a painting of those for a color of the month this month. Because we finished that other painting. I need to do the quilt block, which won't take as long as anything else. I have an embroidery that I'm working on. I should be able to get that finished sometime soonish. But that also means that I have some open space for more projects this month. Because I was super smart and started very early. But let's take some photos, shall we? There are photos of just like Albanese gummy bears out on the interwebs, but if I take my own photo, then I have all the rights to it. And this is also going to involve me just like moving various colors around until I think that the photo looks nice. Okay, I think those are reasonable. And I don't know why, I've had like a, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like a block for getting these done, because every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, I should be working on other stuff. But if I'm doing it for stream, then for some reason my brain is just like, that's fine then. I don't know. I don't get it. But such is life. I'm trying to think about what kind of white paper I could put these on that isn't disgusting. But whatever. I think actually, because this is fresh paper. It's fresh paper. Oh, these are scratch pieces actually. That's probably smarter. These are clean papers that I just cut yesterday, so that will work. I do need to move the pie plate. That's the word I was looking for. The caffeine is definitely making my brain go faster. Better is still up for debate. It is all the gummy bears mixed together. But I love how you can see like the color come through. It is very much like sea glass. Sorry, I saw Stars say that and then I got distracted. Because that's just how I roll. Distraction. One of the things about the Albanese gummy bears is they have a tiny little A on their belly, which makes it super obvious that it's them. Like it's that specific brand. Okay. So those can now go into the lib home. So I want to take some photos of all of the colors, like individually, which I don't need to separate out all of the colors and put them in different bags. But I do want to get like reference images of all the colors like this. Just like we're doing it, we might as well, right? And then I have a bunch of images that I can use to paint more gummy bears if I want to. But yeah. And then those can go in here because this is the bag. This is the remains of the last 5-pound bag of gummy bears. There's also some in my backpack because they're a good snack when I am doing modeling because you just need a little bit of sugar. And it goes a long way. Okay, so that's, I will drop those, that's fine, because I will eat them. These ones are my favorite. This is the pink grapefruit one, and I usually don't like fake citrus flavor, but the grapefruit one is so good. I love grapefruit. I don't remember which color is which for all of the flavors. I could probably figure out. We could do a taste test, except it's not really a taste test. It's a... I've eaten these so much that I've forgotten which is which. How's everybody else doing though? I got so distracted because people were giving me money. And they are all naked. Well, they're not fully naked, I guess. They have an A on them. Is that kind of like never fully dressed without a smile? Or something? Somebody else make that joke work. I'm not gonna do it. I guess I could also do a mix of the flavors. That is not at all the sentence that makes sense for what I'm actually thinking. That's fine. I was just thinking I could also do like a jumble of just the one color in the pie plate, but I don't know that that's a good idea, actually. If I was thinking this through a little bit more, maybe I would have made a list of the flavors and checked off what I thought they were as we went through, just so that I knew what I had done and what I had not done. But I also have the photos on my camera roll, so it's like not a big deal. Right. I know this is just like the most exciting thing you've ever seen in your life. Maybe I will put these reference photos up on my Ko-fi too. I don't think I've done this color yet. There's so many different greens. But there's one of the greens that is like very much my signature color, which is exciting. I don't remember which flavor it is though. I just realized that that means because BP was so kind, it means that my custom bit badges are actually useful now. That's exciting because I've had those ready for ages. Well, you guys know that. Some of you do anyway. Okay. I don't know how, because, okay, start the sentence at the beginning, please. Generally speaking, you don't want to put food on watercolor paper, or really any art paper, because like fat and stuff will change how the paper absorbs pigment. And I'm curious to see how this would affect it. My guess is not much. Because it's not like they're a super fatty food. Like if I plopped, I don't know, olive oil or something on the page, it would resist hanging onto the pigment. Which I've considered doing as like a specific art project. Painting something on the paper with oil and then doing a painting over the top of it to see how it reacts. I do have a separate bag for grape, which I haven't taken photos of yet. Maybe we'll get around to that at some point. I don't know. I've been thinking about that. It's just, I think it's one of those things about being an artist is you're always thinking about how to do weird shit with your mediums. Because I have like 3 other like weaving projects planned that I probably won't ever get to do. Because there's other stuff. Well, for one, fiber arts is expensive. But 2, it takes up a lot of space, I guess is also like 1A or something. Because like, I had an idea about decay in general, because one of the things about fiber art is that it is very prone to decay, which is one of the reasons that we don't have as long of a history, like an art history of textiles, because they rot. And especially in a way that like frescoes or what have you don't. So I was thinking it would be interesting to weave a bunch of fabric, just like basic fabric, and then leave them someplace with stuff on top of them and let the stuff rot, and then wash the fabric and see what the rot left behind as a dye. Hey Parker, welcome in. Are you staying warm? Are you safe? Has the snow gotten you yet? Parker is experiencing Alaska type weather, which a lot of the lower 48 is at the moment. No, thanks. You can keep it. Or maybe we need to send it to Lapras. He seemed up for the challenge. What other colors do I need to do? I did orange. Oh, I needed to do the signature color one. That's right. Yeah, that's cold. I've seen a lot of people getting like really cold and really bad wind chill. Oh yeah, that's always rough. The old trick we did when we were living in Portland was buying pool noodles and chopping those up to use for insulation on the pipes. Although that was back when like getting snow in Portland was really weird, which it is not super weird anymore. Yep. Heated blanket is essential. Okay, let's see. What colors am I missing? Let's discover together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm missing 2 colors. Which colors are they? I did blue. I haven't done this. Oh, yes, I did. Never mind. Straight up yellow I did. I did the clear one, but not the vaguely yellowy one, I think. This guy. And then hot pink I also haven't done. Let's see if I can find the right amount. Is that you? No, this one's you. There we go. All right. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's almost like there's some sort of global weather change. What could we possibly call that? Like, I don't know, maybe the climate has been changing? That sounds a little crazy, though. Okay, I do think that the caffeine is making my brain work. Hey Goose, how you doing? Hi Adam. We're looking at gummy bears, and actually Adam is the partner of Lib who's getting all of the orange gummy bears. They were too delicious. That's their crime. It's kind of like, you know how you'll arrest somebody who looks really nice standing on a street corner because you suspect they might be a prostitute? And you say they were loitering and that was the problem? This is their crime. Were they really doing anything wrong? No. But I want to eat them, so I need to take it out on them personally. Yeah, so I was just taking a bunch of reference photos because I want to paint some gummy bears because I really think that the way that the light moves through them is really interesting. So I did do, I shouldn't have moved that from that sketchbook page. So I did a little watercolor painting of gummy bears in November. And because I was doing these just for like the sake of making art, I wasn't careful to pick reference photos that were like safe to make money off of. So we're taking our own reference photos and I'm going to redo this with like taking some more time and effort. The short answer is that I always stay inside, Parker. I'm a homebody. I don't leave the house unless I'm required to. So I took a photo of like all of the gummy bears mixed together that I'm going to do for that, and I think I'm going to try to make it a washi tape repeating pattern. But I'm also pulling out some of these flavors of gummy bears because I don't like them and I'm sending them to other people. So the orange is going to Lib, who I will give Lib their special shouts again. So I'm doing the orange ones for Lib, and then I pull out the grape ones for my brother because I don't like grape and he does. So, and then the rest of them just go in the various bag. And I will also give Goose a shout out because Goose is also a streamer and is super niceies and has fun chill vibes. So you should go hang out there too. So like if you like chaos, go to Lib. If you like chill vibes, go to Goose. And if you like both of those things like me, you can go to both of them. So I've taken photos. Now it's time to sort. Yeah, for sure. But this is Albanese gummy bears, and they have more flavors than the other brands. These have been my favorite gummy bears for like, gosh, how long? A decade maybe? Because they were part of the little snack packs that they give you on Alaska Airlines flights. If you pay a little bit of extra money for more legroom, you also get a snack pack. Yeah, there's such pretty colors too. But I may also, once I finish sorting all the orange ones out, pour the orange ones back into the pie plate here and take a photo of just the orange ones, because orange is also, well, a specific shade of orange is my color in focus for this month, which is a color that my patrons vote on. And then I focus my art on that color for the month. So I promise to make at least 2 pieces of art every month focusing on that color. But it's kind of serendipitous that orange is the color this month. It's really Aussie red gold, which is the orange pigment that I have on my palette. Because it's a banging color. It's so pretty, and I love it. But yeah. And I also just think it's really funny to just send Lib a bag of gummy bears. I don't know why that amused me so much, but it sure did. And I was like, okay, I'm doing this. And I was like, because this is the second 5-pound bag of gummy bears that we've gone through, my brother and I. So yeah, the first time I was doing it, I made sure that Liv was actually okay with me doing this, because like that's kind of an online friend joke, right? Where you say like you made some soup and you have some left over and somebody's like, can I have some? And you're like, yeah, come over. So I was trying to make sure that I wasn't being like weirder than normal. Weirder than my level of normal, I guess, is the real answer, because like I am weird. We know it. And most people appreciate it. And those that don't can leave. And that's fine. Yeah, exactly. So I was making sure that I wasn't like overstepping. Because, I don't know, I've been told I'm way too intense a lot in my life. And like, I'm aware of that. I am intense. Like, if I like you, I'm going to be obsessed with you nonstop for at least 3 years. So I do try to couch that, which reminds me there's somebody that I need to send a message to about that. Yeah. Stay warm, Parker, and I don't know, survive, or pretend like you're Bear Grylls and you're out in the wild or something. I don't know, whatever helps you get through it. But yeah, I don't know. I've always been told I'm weird and off-putting and blah blah blah, and that's like whatever, that's fine. But with people that I actually like, I try to make sure that I'm not overstepping. So I'll be like, I know that I'm intensely weird, and I know that I'm really loud, and I know that I might give you enough gifts that you feel really uncomfortable. And if I get to that point where you're like legitimately uncomfortable to the point that if you like see my message you don't want to talk to me kind of levels, just tell me to back off, and I will. Because I definitely get intense. So, but I've realized that that's actually not a fault, that's a feature of my personality. And as long as I'm like respecting people's boundaries, we're okay. But it is definitely one of those things that, man, I was picked on a lot in elementary school, right? But I don't know. There's that jokey Tumblr post that's, maybe it's a Tumblr post, maybe it's actually a tweet, about how you can spend X amount of dollars trying to get an autism diagnosis, but, you know, Becky and Susie in the 3rd grade clocked it without any monetary input, you know? Definitely that kind of person. Yeah. See, I'm an intense introvert. So like if I decide that you're a safe person, I will never shut up. Okay, is that it? Is that it? Yes. This went so much faster when I was talking to you guys than the last time I did this. Wild. But yeah, so I'm introverted, like people exhaust me. But I'm discovering mostly that's because of how hard I mask. So it's not really the people I find exhausting, it's the masking. So I'm working a little bit to like unmask more when I'm safe. Because there are some places where I'm definitely not safe to unmask. But here is not one of those places. I'm perfectly safe to do whatever I want right here. There were way more grape in this bag than there were in the last one. Okay. Ugh. I did set one gummy bear aside because it fell on the table. And I think I'm just going to eat that one instead of putting it in the bag. Yeah, I used to feel a lot like that too, where I'd just have a couple people that I'd interact with and I don't know, those were my safe people and the only way I got social interaction. But the problem with that is that at a certain point, they aren't, your few selections aren't going to be available. And so you end up in a very isolated place because your safe people aren't available to you. So I think it's important to kind of like spread out your interactions, which is part of the reason why I hang out on Twitch so much. Because in that way I have a wide group of friends who somebody's like always around, right? So I'm in like everybody's Discords and I watch people stream at different times and all that kind of stuff. So I always have somebody to talk to. Unlike when my depression got really bad and my like 3 actual in-person friends just stopped talking to me. So yeah, it's like grape soda. Or I'm trying to think of what other grape candies there are. And I'm not coming up with anything. But yeah, grape soda kind of flavor. I don't know, it's kind of like not basing your entire personality on one or all of your happiness on one activity. So if I only based my happiness, like if the only thing that made me happy was doing art, and suddenly my depression was bad enough that I felt like I couldn't do art, I would absolutely crumble because it's not a stable platform to hold yourself up on. You need more than one leg on a table, right, for it to stand up properly if one of the other legs goes away. So you need to like spread out your interests. So I'm a reader, I'm a writer, I do art, I play video games, I blah 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 blah, right? And that way, if I feel unwell to the point that I can't do one of those tasks or one of those things that brings me joy, I have a variety of other things to pick from. Which is life advice, really. Spread out your joy. Okay, we're gonna take a photo of just the orange gummy bears now. And then I don't know what we're doing, because that took a lot less time than I thought it would. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the grape flavor, and I haven't ever been. That was the flavor that, of medicine. I have this theory that for most people, the flavor of medicine they were given as a kid is their least favorite artificial flavor. So like kids who were given cherry flavor a lot don't tend to like cherry. And I was given grape a lot, and I don't like grape or orange, which I was also given a lot of medicine with. But yeah, pro tips from Katie or something. You are color correcting on this like nobody's business, and it's awful, and I hate you. I'm gonna need to alter that so hard. Can you like not do that? Okay, well they look piss colored thanks to my camera, so I feel like that's on brand for Lib. Yeah, see most of the fruit flavors, or most of the medicine flavors here are fruit. Except for like Robitussin's, especially for like kid medication. So like cough syrup or whatever. Berry is also a pretty popular one, although it doesn't actually taste like berry, right? It tastes like, I don't know, Satan's asshole with a slight hint of berry. I'm knocking things off of the table. That's fine. Bye. Okay. I have a gummy bear to eat. What else do I need to do today? We could get started on the quilt block patterns. I have not even remotely thought about what I want to do for those, but that's okay. We can just sit here and shoot the shit. What am I thinking? There's one specific kind of antibiotic that kids get, like that thick pink kind. It kind of looks like Pepto-Bismol, which you may not have. I don't know. It might be called something else. Bismuth stuff for your tumbly. I am realizing that I didn't cut enough paper for 2 of these like I thought I had because I did something silly. But there's like this pink antibiotic that tastes like really sweet that kids really like. Okay. I haven't thought about what I want to do with these, and I also have not got paint water. It's almost like I didn't think this through. Impossible. Amoxicillin, yes, thank you, Adam. And that stuff tastes good. Hi, Dream, how you doing? I cannot function. That's okay. I'm taping this to... There goes the tissue box off the table. I'm taping these to a different acrylic board just so that I can move it with me. So that I can work on it off stream if we don't finish it today. Oh yeah, that's rough. I have different antibiotic allergies. I'm allergic to sulfa and macrobids. Sulfa I've been allergic to since I was a kid. Like my mom was allergic to it too, but I developed an allergy to macrobids, which is great. Macrobids are one of the antibiotics they use for urinary tract infections. I taped this on here so crooked. Like, it's not a big deal. I just find it really funny. But at one point, I was allergic to, like... So I'm basically allergic to all of the standard antibiotics that you use for UTI, which is great. So at one point in my life, like, I had discovered that I had a macrobid allergy. And I can tell the whole medical story behind this if people want to know. Like, it's not that interesting, but I don't know. Or at least I don't find it that interesting, but I was there when it happened. So they discovered I was allergic to macrobids, and then I had to take child's bubblegum flavor liquid antibiotics because that was the only other option available that wasn't going to give me an allergic reaction. Um, Not fun, I'll tell you that much. Oh, I do also have a new Ko-fi goal, in case anybody was curious. I put that up. I haven't posted about it anywhere yet because I'm like that. But I'm gonna get a silhouette cutter, I've decided. Lib has influenced me. Lib's an influencer. But yeah, so I had a UTI and we thought that's all it was, but then I was still having symptoms after I'd finished the first batch of antibiotics. So they kept me on antibiotics while they were trying to figure out what was wrong with me because I was still uncomfortable, and like it wasn't as bad as it had been before, but yeah, UTIs are awful. They really are. So I basically felt like I had a UTI for, 9 months? And I was on antibiotics the entire time. And so eventually my body was like, you know what? No, fuck you. If you're going to keep taking those pills, I'm going to make it so you feel like you can't breathe. Suffer. So like I developed an allergy because I'd been on them for so long. Turns out my bladder is just broken, which is like one of those really common things that people are like, we don't know why this happens, but it happens to mostly women and they just get to suffer, which always annoys the hell out of me. But yeah, so my bladder just sends me wrong signals all the time, and it's really fun. And by fun, I mean not fun. Like I manage, but it's also one of those things where it's like, can we not do this, please? But yeah, I've only ever had one UTI and ended up with a major diagnosis. So I guess not really major. It's not like, well, maybe I'm downplaying it. I was going to say it's not like life-altering, but it actually kind of is. Which is, aside from just like my general anxiety, that's one of the reasons why I always figure out where the bathroom is the second that I show up someplace new. Yeah, UTIs are bad. And they happen a lot more frequently with vagina havers. Just because of the way it's set up. And it's like, could you maybe make the system so that it doesn't suck as much? Just a thought. But they tend to get like a lot worse in people with penises too, just because it happens less often, so you aren't as like aware of it in general. Yeah, evolution kind of screwed people with vulvas over. I mean, that isn't to say that it didn't screw all of us over, because like, who has a spine that works? None of us. None of us do. I know this already. But like, looking at the evolution chain and going, and this is what you decided. Okay, that's great. Ah, yeah. So I was doing everything that they told me to do when I had this, and I was like, okay, well, maybe it's a UTI, maybe it's not a UTI, but we were treating it like it still was. So I was drinking unsweetened, unconcentrated, straight from the frickin' berry cranberry juice constantly. You know what one of the things that can trigger overactive bladder and make it worse? Cranberry juice. I played myself. And I was like, why is this not getting any better? And then once they gave me the diagnosis, they were like, oh yeah, so you can stop taking the antibiotics and you can stop drinking all of this cranberry juice. And I was like, and suddenly it got better. And I was just like, somebody could have told me this at any point. Any point they could have said, this is one of the things that can also irritate your urinary tract. And they didn't. So yeah, fun. I will tell you all of these things. So caffeine, anything super acidic, Like, for instance, energy drinks or cranberry juice can irritate it. Spicy foods can irritate it. Anything with carbonation can irritate it. Did anybody tell me that this entire process? No. Yeah. So caffeine is definitely one of those, and yeah. So basically anything fun. Alcohol also. Did I say that already? I don't drink anymore, so I didn't think about it right off the bat. But yeah. Fun facts that they should tell you. Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah, things that are diuretics, basically. Um, yeah. Which is why we have to decide which bad things that are fun we're committed to and which we aren't. I'm committed to caffeine. I'm not committed to alcohol. There's other reasons behind that too, which I don't think are buried deep beneath the surface or anything, but I do think I'm going to need to cut another one of these papers for next month, which I don't particularly want to. But as I mentioned, the block is a little bit damaged, so it actually works perfect for these. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys want the tragic backstory again? I think we have some new people. Yeah, so my mom died from alcoholism at the beginning of 2023, like literally the first day of 2023. And I decided to stop drinking about a year before she passed away. Because I definitely had a drinking problem too, which was connected to my depression. But I definitely hit a point where I was like, I'm not going to let anybody else have to go through what I'm going through right now. So, yeah, I don't know. I appreciate, like, you don't need to worry about it. I don't need pity or whatever. It's just, it is what it is, which what it is kind of sucks. But I think it was a choice for the better. I wish that I'd come to that decision another way. But life is like that sometimes. So, and that's part of the reason why I've also been very vocal about it here on social media, all that kind of stuff, because it's something that a lot of people have gone through, and a lot of people have difficulty making decisions about, because it is a very emotional topic, right? And a lot of times the way that we treat alcoholism is very similar to the way we treat mental health. But there hasn't been as much of a reclamation movement online about alcoholism, because you can't really slap a pretty picture on it and call it self-care. So I try to be open about that and talk about the issues that I've had personally, because I think that helps. So, welcome to Downer Corner, where I'm just a downer. I do need to go grab some paint water so that I can do this. I also need to think about what the hell I want to paint. Oh yeah, alcohol culture, especially in the United States, which is what I'm most familiar with, to be clear, is really intense. And it feels kind of like inescapable a lot of times, because people are so enculturated in it that they don't question where the myths they're perpetuating are coming from. So, like, the idea that you can only have a fun night out if you drink, or the idea that you're supposed to drink through your entire college days, or, you know, whatever, ends up being perpetuated pretty hard. And people really do treat people who don't drink a lot the same way that they treat people who are picky eaters, where they're like, oh, well, you have this boundary. It's my job to push this boundary, and it will help you grow somehow, which it won't. You're just being disrespectful to somebody. So it ends up a lot the same way. Yep. And a lot of times, like, if people ask you on a date, they'll say, do you want to go get a drink? And if you go, oh, well, I don't drink, they give you like a weird face, And I'm like, cool, never mind about that date. I've had that happen a couple times. Yeah, and just like a lot of it is also connected to caffeine culture. So like the idea, and a lot of this is marketing too, which is a different issue but also connected, where it's like you need a huge boost of caffeine at 2 p.m. to get through your workday, and then when you get home, you're supposed to have like 3 martinis to wind down from the day. That's just drugs, bro. It's just drugs. Perhaps find better coping mechanisms and also defeat capitalism because that's a big part of the problem. But really find better coping mechanisms. But like if you're having so much caffeine to get through your day that you need to have a depressant when you get home so that you can sleep, that's not good for you. You deserve better. Anyway, that's little rants with Katie. And also just respect other people's choices. Holy shit. Because I have that great story, so if people push me about why I don't drink, the conversation gets shut down immediately. Right? Because if you go, oh, well, why aren't you drinking? Har, 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 har. And somebody goes, well, my mom's dead. It kind of just shuts the entire conversation down. And then the other people who don't want to drink, one, see that it's okay to not be drinking because I'm not going to be drinking, and two, don't have to explain themselves because we've taught everybody a lesson just then. So I like being able to use that as a little bit of a blunt instrument against people who are being rude. Yeah, this streaming is really just rants with Katie. That's all it is. I just talk to myself. And there are a lot of rants stuck in my head, I guess. Getting up to get paint water, that's what I was doing. You guys can just come with me, because I have the headset on, so. Oh, my foot is asleep. That's fun. Let's move Gummibears while we do this as well. Maybe I want to do a fabric pattern with little pumpkins on it. Yeah, okay, look, you guys came with me to get this. Isn't that exciting? I do need to get myself set back up here because I moved all the paint stuff because you don't really want to get paint on your food, generally speaking. And like they're all dry, but I would prefer not to tempt the fates with, you know, heavy metals. Okay. Usually the way I decide, I guess I should explain what I'm doing, huh? I also should change my category back to art because we're doing art. That's not the button I meant to push. Let me load, please. Come on, baby girl, you can do it. Thank you. It would also help if I could type. There we go. Done. There we go. All right. I was saying something. What was it? Oh, usually what I do for these is I just kind of troll Joanne's fabric. And I look at things and I'm like, oh, I kind of like that idea, but I don't like the way they did it, so I'll do it different. So for people who don't know, what we're doing is we're making watercolor fabric patterns on these pieces of watercolor paper to make a little quilt square with. So I've been doing these for all of my color and focuses. So we're doing an orange one today. Well, this month. I'm not going to finish it today because I need to let the paper dry before I punch holes in it. But yeah, so this was the first one where the color was burnt umber, which I did back up with a fair amount of orange in here. And then violet was next. And then new leaf green was last month. And then this month is Aussie red gold, which is this color. So we're gonna do that. But what exactly I want to do for the patterns, I haven't really thought through. Because my brain doesn't work some days. And by some days, I mean this entire month. Because, yeah. I don't know. I kind of realized why my brain has been so rough the past couple weeks. Like, obviously, it's the anniversary of my mom's death, but also it's a leftover from another bad decision I've made in my life. And despite the fact of me forgetting until I saw it on my calendar, the brain remembers in a strange way. So I think doing one with pumpkins is cute, and I like that idea. I might do like a yellow, full-on yellow, and then do little pumpkins through here. I am realizing that I didn't bring out my orange colored pencil because it's back in the other room. Maybe we can use red real quick to do this. So let's do little pumpkins. So I'm basically just going to paint the pattern on the paper and then cut the paper to make the squares the same way that you would for like cutting fabric for making an actual quilt. That's the thing. I did make these pieces a little bit bigger because I ran into a problem last month where I'd mismeasured one of the paper pieces and I had to redo some of it, which was not super fun. But yeah, maybe I want to pull up Joanne's on my phone. And oh my god, I keep seeing things and then immediately disregarding them. It's like the equivalent of opening a text message and thinking about responding and then thinking that you've done that, except I'm doing it in real time. But what did you get from Joanne's, Adam? I need to know. I'm actually sitting up straight, but thank you, Streamlabs, for the shrimp check. Oh, I also got perfect on connections today, and I was really pleased with myself. I think I got perfect 2 days in a row. Yeah, it's helpful. It's helpful for everyone, and sometimes it gets me. But I had just gotten up, so so that helps. I was looking at Joanne's. Boop, boop, boop. Which their mobile site is not good, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, that one, Dream. I got perfect today. I think I got perfect yesterday too. But I use Firefox, so it doesn't keep the cookies. So I don't know what like my streak is or anything. But I think that's better for my brain. Because then I don't get like weirded out about breaking a streak or something, you know? Oh my god, why does this website suck so much? Let's look at Calico. Can I? Yes, there it is. The one today was kind of weird. Like, I was overthinking it. So I was like, these things go together, but That can't be right. That's too simple. They're trying to trick me. That was not the case. Here, you guys can look at my phone too. We can look at some fabrics together. I do kind of like this retro-y flower vibe here. I like that. I take a screenshot. Usually I do this on my computer, which also really, Joanne's website is not made for doing this, which is stupid. Like, obviously you want me to scroll through every single fabric and pick the ones that I want. I like that. Kind of basic watercolor leafy pattern. That's good. Yeah, I don't know. Today, I've been having trouble with some of the connections ones just because I'm an overthinker, and also my brain makes weird connections that other people's brains don't. Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to do like a koi scale pattern. That would be really good. I've done one like that before, but I did that digitally. Do I have that saved? I didn't bring out my iPad. I think I can remember. I think I can remember. We'll find out though. Because do I have these out here? Yes, I do. I do want a circle stencil though. Or maybe not circle. Maybe those. What size do I want? Probably pretty big. Like yay, perhaps. I may also just do like a polka dot, just because I like polka dots. Because I have been kind of just doing like, almost knocked my water over, move, thank you. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Oh my god, brain, please. Oh, I've just been doing kind of like a streaky pattern on the bigger piece. But I could do something more complicated. Yeah, I should have drawn a line for these. Because that is not right. It may be time to lower the light a little bit. The thing about being next to a window in a place where the sun doesn't always show up is that I get to adjust this all the time, forever. I was hoping that might make it so that those sketch marks were visible, but they sure aren't. So you guys can watch me work invisibly for a while, I guess. I am realizing that that doesn't look quite right. For reasons. Because I need to add like this here. Otherwise, that doesn't really make sense. This might have been easier if I have already forgotten which one I was using. This one? This one? This one? So fun fact, I don't have a brain. This one. Oh my god, why am I so stupid? It's because my brain doesn't work. I know that. It was this one. Usually when I'm working by myself, aka not with you guys, I will put a little piece of tape on the one that I'm using because otherwise I forgot. This is not exactly right, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. Really, the quilt blocks are more about playing with patterns and colors in a way that's not too intimidating because I'm only doing a small portion of it. Let me... Where did my tape go? Oh. Oh, I could have also brought out my embroidery to work on, I guess. I don't think that one would be particularly interesting to watch long term, just because it's a very small embroidery piece. And, I don't know. I'm stuck in, like, the world's longest step for it. I think right here. Okay. Maybe I'm figuring out how I want to do this. But I'm making, I think I mentioned this last time. I don't fully remember. I'm making a little embroidery. I bought these tiny little hoops. They aren't like functional hoops, they're display hoops to make jewelry and stuff out of. So I'm making little embroidery stuff to make. I'm not sure if I want to make that one into a brooch, or maybe, wow, those are super uneven. Do I care? I don't think I do. Brain, you want to bring that sentence back? Bring it back, please. But yeah, me too. My main medium is actually fiber. That's what I'm actually trained in. But fiber's expensive. So do I have that out here? Where did I put that? The current long-term project that I've been working on for fiber is my Advent book project, which I have a command for. That brings up the master post. So I'm working on an Advent book, which is like an Advent calendar, but it's like a soft book. So I've been doing embroidery on the pockets, the front pockets. I've finished all the pockets. I need to design the cover for the book because I'm going to actually bind it in felt. And that's for Jick, who is another streamer friend of mine, who I miss because he hasn't streamed in like forever. I miss him. He used to stream all the time, and now his life is busy. And I miss him. Of course it's colder. Stay warm, Parker. What was I saying? Why do I lose my train of thought so easily? I know why, it's the brain weasels, but you know, it's never as obvious as when I'm streaming, honestly. I think streaming is honestly one of the major things that made me finally be comfortable with saying that I probably have ADHD. I also read a lot into it, which is just how I am as a person. I got them brain weasels. Yeah, it's because it's really easy to ignore how often you lose your own train of thought if you don't have somebody watching you, right? So I'm thinking about keeping a vague train of thought and being like making enough sense that somebody can understand what I'm doing. But if you're just by yourself, you don't really notice how often you lose your own train of thought because you lost your train of thought. So, but yeah, I don't know. It definitely makes it a lot more obvious to me. Although, to be fair, I had kind of decided that I was probably okay with diagnosing myself as ADHD before I started streaming. But this has definitely brought it to a forefront. But it does, I don't know. If I have the money, I would like to pursue an official diagnosis because like I am unmedicated and like I'm still alive. But what if I didn't have to fight my brain to get everything done? How much would I get done in a day? I would be unstoppable. Because like I already do a fair amount art-wise. But if I could like, I don't know, functionally do social media, that would be nice. Yeah, see, I've known I had anxiety since I was little because as previously mentioned, I got bullied in school a fair amount. Um, so I would have physical symptoms from my anxiety before going to school in the mornings. Um, so like I've had anxiety a long time, which is I think not unrelated to my other issues. But I remember actually they made me go into the school counselor before schools a lot of the time, and I really liked it because she had, this was when I was little in elementary school. I would have been in like 3rd grade maybe 4th. Um, but she had the fancy Land O'Lakes mint hot cocoa powder, so I got to have hot cocoa when I went in. Did it actually fix any of the issues? No, but I got hot cocoa, so I think that's a win. I don't know. The thing about bullying is that it's not going to get fixed by an adult going, well, why are you upset? You kind of got to actually deal with the kids who are bullying and not the person being bullied. Wild concept. I don't know. I use a lot of little life hacks from people with ADHD. Shout out to Joy, whose hacks I've been using for ages. I should make Joy a command. She streams sometimes, but not so much on her own channel anymore. She streams with a lot, who is also one of my streamers. Who streamed this morning, but I couldn't go because he was done before I woke up. I can do that. I can also do that. Joy is awesome. She has a book that's about a vampire and a werewolf loving each other, and they have disabilities, and one of them has ADHD, and it's a really good book, so you should read it. It is a romance novel, but it has a spicy version and a no spice version. So basically, there's a version where there's actually sex scenes, and then there's another version where all of that is just fade to black. Yeah, I think I've mentioned this to you before, Parker, and I said I wouldn't buy it for you because it made me feel kind of weird to buy smut for you. Uh, But it's a really good book and actually got me back into reading after having not read for a really long time because my depression made it difficult for me to focus. Yeah. But good book. She's been working on the second one because it's supposed to be a trilogy, I think. But there's also a couple of short stories that do have spoilers in them for the other books. But good books, well written, plays with tropes in a really fun way. But Joy is a huge disability and ADHD advocate and is just generally a cool human. Well, maybe she's human. She might be Fae. I don't know. Okay, there's a vague... You can kind of see it down here. The pattern, vague scale pattern. And then I want to do pumpkins here. Do I want to just do streakies for the big one again? Probably not, because it's going to end up looking like this. Maybe I want to do like circular blobs instead. I also got both the spicy and non-spicy. I got mine because I donated to some fundraiser that I was doing, I think, and Joy was helping with. But I've bought the book like a million times over for other people too. So, but I liked it so much that I finished the spicy version and decided I wasn't done with it yet, and immediately went to read the fluff version, which is the one without the sex scenes in it. I was also just kind of curious about what the differences were. But yeah, good book. Joy is just a really good writer. And if you've been on Tumblr, you know Joy. You do, even if you don't realize that you do. Joy is the bibliosphere on Tumblr. Her most famous post would be crucifix nail nipples. Which is famous really because it's ridiculous, but also because she's such a good writer. She has really good comedic timing in her writing. Yeah. Did you guys hear? Tumblr people, Tumblr Live is finally dying. We did it. We did it, you guys. We killed it. 24th is when it finally goes down. I'm so excited. I think once that goes down, I'm actually going to renew my ad-free. Because I definitely quit that in protest. Yeah, for real. Oh yeah, she's deep in Batman right now. She also an interesting thing that's like just Joy things. She also writes fanfic of her own work. So she has a whole fanfic of her own characters and her own story. It's like a modern AU kind of vibe, and it's so nice. It's so nice. Yeah, you should, Goose. You should. And you should tell me what your username is so that I can follow you there. But I've been on there since like 2011. I'm on the same account the whole time too, which is wild to me. Hey Loki! Welcome in and boop to you too, or something. I was thinking circular blobs for this one. That's easy peasy, but what do I want to do for this one? Maybe just loose, leafy vibes. Like a wet on wet situation. Or I could do more polka dots. What do I want to do? Maybe I want to do the looser leaves. Yeah. They've gotten better about letting you do stuff through side blogs now, though. So, like, you can reply through a side blog now, which is really nice. Oh, I'm sure, Parker. Like, there's cringe on mine. If you search, you will find some of my cold takes from a decade ago or whatever. But I think I've also grown a lot as a person because of Tumblr. So I think that, like, getting rid of that would be disingenuous to myself. Yeah, I appreciate the lurk, Loki. Thank you. But yeah, side blocks are better than they used to be. They've also clarified the delete button for side blocks so that it doesn't delete your main account, which is well overdue, but good. Yeah, please do. Okay. Oh, I need to email this company again. I'm gonna write a reminder in my phone for next week. If it still hasn't come out, I'm gonna bug them again. So this song, for people who don't know, because we do have some new folks today, this song is from a video game called Cassette Beasts, which is a cool game, and I would love to be able to play it, but I unfortunately bought the Switch version after making sure that it had a accessibility setting that I needed, because glitch effects and like flashing lights give me migraines, which has gotten worse in like the past year and a half. But the setting doesn't work on Switch, so like it doesn't save, so I haven't been able to play it safely at all. So I've been emailing with the company that was in charge of the port to Switch for like a solid 9 months, probably longer than that at this point, because it came out in March of 2023 to Switch. It came out on Steam earlier than that, and it's still not fixed. And I think that they're expecting me to go away. I'm not going to go away, because I'm counting this as just lost money at this point. I paid $18 or whatever because it was on sale. Haven't been able to play this game, but it's too late. And Nintendo doesn't really do paybacks anyway. So I'm just going to make their life a living hell until they fix this setting for me. The music slaps, and the game seems really cool. I watched Jick play some of it, which is why I bought it. Because I did ask him if there was a setting for that, because I knew it's an issue for me, and there is a setting in the game, which is the right way to go, but it doesn't work on Switch, so. That's totally fine, Parker. I follow Were Ralph. I think I can handle it. Man, I saw that nuked post yesterday. The Were Ralph one with the pineapple. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you probably don't want to look it up. So I definitely have seen the gay wolf OCs and just gay werewolves before. Okay, I wanted to do this loose, so I need to stop trying to pick up the pencil, and we should just wet the paper and get going, so that I feel like I'm actually doing something. Where is... There you are. You are the shortest brush in the world, but I love you. Okay, we're gonna get this guy wet. Let's get wet and wild on this paper here. I set that right there. Okay. I was like, where the heck did I set my paint palette? It's literally right next to my leg. Up. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know. I follow people of all ilks on Tumblr, because one of the things that I really like about Tumblr in general is that one, it doesn't affect like an algorithm. So if I follow somebody who's a super furry or something, it doesn't really mess with what gets suggested to me all that much. But also it means that I learn about somebody else's experience that I would not have run into before. Let's do this. But like, I don't know. I've learned a lot from Tumblr, just like seeing how other people exist, and I'm very grateful for that, because I legitimately think it has made me a better, more understanding person. So like, I'll run into somebody who's into something that I'm not into and be like, okay, well, what do you find interesting about it? And I'll take some time to just like sit with it and learn about it. And that way I understand more things about the universe, which is good. It has also just generally made me, I think, more compassionate. I mean, I also get annoyed by people on Tumblr. That's just how it works. Yeah, it wasn't for me because like Tumblr came into being while I was in college. So I was already on, Facebook and stuff. Because Facebook had like, when I was in high school, Facebook was only for college students. Like you had to have a college email address to sign up for it, which is wild to think about now. So I had MySpace, I had a live journal, but a bit different. But it was definitely, and still is, a very different social media experience because really it's not social media. Really, it's a blogging platform. Oh, I also, Goose, if you're still here, I did finish playing Red String Club. I don't think I mentioned that to you. I keep forgetting. But good suggestion. It was very interesting. And I do enjoy... Oh, yeah, that's fair, Parker. I definitely went back and deleted the MySpace that I had when I was in high school because there were some things on there that I really should not have been doing. Yeah, it was good. I didn't quite cry, but it was close. It was close. Yeah, well, it's like it was the doomed by the narrative thing, and I was aware, and I was like on edge. I was like, okay, I know that this story plot has to happen because of the opening scene, right? And I was like, okay, okay, okay. When do we get doomed? When do we get doomed? But yeah. Go for it, Parker. Find the optimum stimulation zone. But it was very interesting. I did play through it like twice back to back to get all the achievements because I'm like that now, I guess. The achievements give me serotonin. But man, the lathe mini game near the beginning is so hard to do on Steam Deck. I almost rage quit. Oh, they're weird ones. I had to look up some of them because I was like, some of these make sense to me, and some of these I have no clue how to get. It was rough, and one of the achievements is making all of the lathe options, and I did that, and then my achievements weren't unlocking, so I had to reset my play and then do it again, and I was so mad. Great game though. I love little indie games that are just like, "Hey, did you know that we hate capitalism? You should hate capitalism too." And I'm like, "I'm so with you, buddy. We're on the same page." Yeah, they have been locking more and more things for sure. And like as I was saying in Jack's Discord yesterday, if I hadn't already decided that I wasn't going to be buying more Pokemon games, the DLC definitely would have pushed me over the edge. Um, okay, I need to stop messing with that and just let it do its thing. Because, yeah. Well, I was so upset that we couldn't hunt the starters in Sword and Shield because the fire rabbit starter was made for me. That was my Pokemon. Like, they made that for me. They don't know that they made it for me, but they made it for me. Because I had two rabbits. They both passed from old age, but Wash was my baby boy. And the games came out on his death date. And every single shiny rabbit Pokemon I get, I name after him or my other rabbit, Zoe. But and since starters are mostly male, right? Like that's my Pokemon. That's my Pokemon. That's Wash. That's for me. Is for me. And then they didn't let me reset for it. And I was like, how dare you? Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't think that they, which I think implies that they know that they're messing up. The fact that they will still let us hunt starters in the remakes. Like they know that they've kind of blown it. I don't know. Oh, that's so cute. I was so on the Fido train until they said that lore thing about it having yeast in its breath. And I was like, so if my dog sniffs my crotch, I get a yeast infection. That is not a fun time information for me. Hey, Crispin, welcome in. Or lurk. Happy lurk? Is that a lurk emote? It probably is. Me trying to realize what the heck I'm doing. I know how to stream. That's a lie. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, it is super cute. And I do have my trained up dachshund named Holla Back Girl, Holla like the bread. And I was so pleased with myself for coming up with that. She works hard. She does. Yeah, that's fair, Stars. Yeah, it's cool. And I do love my object mons. I really do. Everyone's like, why would you just make Pokemon, like a set of keys, a Pokemon? And I'm like, because it's baby. Look at it. Look at it. It's a baby. Like a little trash bag. You look at this little trash bag with his sad baby eyes and you're gonna be mean to him? You don't deserve him. Give him to me. That's my child now. Okay, I'm going into this without having planned anything at all, which is probably pretty accurate to my life, generally speaking. What I really want is just like a lot of blooming and funky stuff, and then we'll go over it with like a pen to kind of like carve out the shapes a little bit better. This is true. This is true. I wonder if that's the case in like every culture. Is it just that kids like jangly things that make noise? Or is it keys specifically? Are there plastic key rings available throughout the world for children? Things that make me realize I don't know as much about the world as I thought I did. I don't know, there's gotta be like culture-specific children's toys, right? So like there's gotta be something in the US that's I think of as normal that is not normal anywhere else. I don't know. Plastic telephones? The little... I bet it's the car. You know those little like toddler mobile cars? I bet it's that. I bet that's not common everywhere. Yeah, I liked fabric stuff a lot, which will shock everybody, I'm sure. But there's a specific kind of fabric that's really just called satin. That like the silky weave that's really like slippery. And I called that Kiki. All of that texture was Kiki. And that was my favorite. I still have a pillowcase that my grandma made for me when I was little and had chickenpox that I sleep with every night. And that's Kiki. Oh, yeah, True Goose. Well, there's that you can sit on. Yeah, so like you sit on it, but it has like the Flintstone open bottom, so you roll it with your feet. appliances too. I had a thought there and then I just got distracted in my own head. But I wonder how different play kitchens are from country to country. Because I'm sure that that's like a pretty standard thing because kids like doing what adults do. But I wonder if like the setup for play kitchens is really different from culture to culture. I was just thinking because the US is such a car-centric space that it might be like more common. But we do have also like those battery-powered kitty jeeps and stuff like that too. Which my cousin got one of those when we were little and I was so freaking jealous. She got the Barbie one. Oh, I was so jealous. Okay. I need to decide how I want to do these scales. That's the next step here. And I think what I want to do is do an underlaying of the orange and then do some red to line them with. And then maybe we'll take one of my new gold colors and make a couple of the scales shiny. I was so jealous of that. My cousin always got really cool stuff. Like, our families were just different in how they spent money. So she always had like some of the cool stuff. Yeah, Hot Wheels. I never had a lot of Hot Wheels. I guess my brother had some. That makes sense. I wonder if you guys just have like, this isn't trying to be a read, but it's going to come across as one. I bet you guys have like higher quality of the same things we do. Like I was just going to say, I bet you guys still have the metal Hot Wheels instead of the plastic ones. Yeah, how'd that work out for him, Goose? I don't know, I was just always a weird kid. I did a lot of reading and solitary activities. Water guns, is that one that's common other places? I feel like America is very gun-centric too, which I don't think is a hot take, even remotely. What color do I want the background for the pumpkins to be? That's another question. Maybe I want to do a gray. I do like gray and orange together. I like gray with most things, really. But I definitely got a lot of like makeup kits and stuff when I was little that I didn't particularly want. Ah, gotcha, stars. I don't know, maybe I need to look at like some... Okay, cool. Interesting. I don't know, these things that I think of as like specifically American probably aren't as American as I think they are, because America has kind of taken over the rest of the world. Sorry about that. They didn't ask me or I would have said no. I don't know, but sometimes we find out very different things. I love learning about like specifically candy from different places because like your treat foods say a lot about you culturally, I think. And they tend to have a fair amount of history behind them before American culture got a little universal. I don't know. You guys know what I mean. That's not the right way to phrase it, though. Yeah, that's fair, stars. That's fair. Which reminds me, I really need to buy more of that frickin' salmiakki mix because I'm craving it, but it costs like $30 to get a bag of it shipped here. Yeah, Parker, for sure. Which is something that has happened in my lifetime, which is weird. Like, the fact that I have friends from literally all over is wild. Because, like, the only way you could do that when I was, like, in elementary school was to have pen pals. I think that I can turn this light down some more. Because the sun is up. She is shining through the clouds. Then you can actually kind of see what's going on a little bit. I do have, like, this streak right here, which I'm not sure why that happened, but I'm gonna leave it because I don't mind. I do need to decide how specific I'm doing these pumpkins. Do I want them very detailed or do I want them loosey-goosey? Yeah, I wasn't great at it either, Stars. Yeah, see, Parker, I was in that generation where it was just VHS, and then there was like a brief blip where we thought it might be beta. The VHS reigned supreme. And then you could get a DVD player and you had to have them separate. And then you could have the DVD and the, Oh, sorry, Goose. I wouldn't call you loosey-goosey, though. I feel like that's rude. But yeah, it was a while before boxes came out that had both the VHS and DVD player. Yes, I miss Blockbuster. I just miss that, like, I don't know, specific space that it held, because it was like an excitement zone. It was like a tiny little carnival or something. I think I mentioned this before, but I wouldn't have seen a Ghibli movie until I was an adult before. Oh, gotcha, Goose. Sorry. That's great. I love that. Lucy Goosey is a drag name. That's great. Yeah, this thing where we're only using the cloud now, I really don't like that development. And part of that is me just being an old grumpy bitch, but part of it is because it means that I don't actually have my stuff. So, water bottle, you're in the way. Everything's in the way. I'm so messy all the time. I was trying to decide how I wanted to do the pumpkins. Yeah, we are going to have a digital dark age for realsies. We're going into it right now, I think. Because as companies are buying things and then immediately saying, no, we're going to delete this off the face of the planet. We're going through the BBC throwing Doctor Who in the river again. Yeah, see, I was young enough that I actually wore out a VHS tape when I was little because I got obsessed with a movie and watched it repeatedly until the tape wore out. Yeah, I'm older. I'm turning 36 this year, which is wild to me. I don't know how to deal with that. And it's not like oh, I'm so old, or oh, I'm past 30, I'm past my prime, or whatever. It's just like I didn't think I was gonna live this long, if I'm being honest. So like I don't have a roadmap for this. And it's so weird. Yeah, you should, Parker, you should. For sure. I don't remember recording over a tape that was like important. I know we had some, but we got rid of them when we moved to Alaska, I think. Because like there was recordings of me as a baby because somebody had just gotten a video camera. And there was like, I think there was part of my parents' wedding or something at one point, but we got rid of all of our tapes when we moved to Alaska. Against my wishes, I will point out, but I wasn't the one paying for everything to be moved, so. Same with all the vinyls my dad had. Yeah, it was before there was really like a big market for digitizing that stuff too. So I don't think we even have that stuff anymore at all, which is kind of sad, honestly. But I feel like one of the things with recording information changing is when it gets easier, people tend to throw stuff away because they think that they can get more of it. You know what I mean? So we actually lose a lot more information than we could have had. Or we would have had, like, we lose a lot more of it than with, like, I don't know, photos or something. I don't think that made any sense. I know what I'm trying to say. But I guess it's the same with a lot of stuff where if you don't label it, the information isn't really there anyway. Because, like, there was a time when my mom and I were helping my grandma go through a bunch of family photos, and there were a lot of people in there that we just didn't know who they were. Because we hadn't done that with my great-grandmother while she was still alive, so. Yeah, brain weasels. They get especially bad in January for me, which isn't really a surprise, I guess, because it's been dark here for God knows how long. But oh, this music is from Valhalla, which I was talking to you about, Goose. That's what I use for a lot of my stream playlist. Which is kind of like Red Strings Club, except a little to the left. There's one song on your playlist, Goose, that I recognize. Like, somebody's obviously remixed it, but it's Hang On Little Tomato by Pink Martini. Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. Spotify can be kind of a butthole. And it's a lot more difficult to like capture the information off of Spotify than it is from like YouTube or whatever. So if you wanted like a current music command or something. Although, who is it who's done that? Rainbow Sheep has done a Spotify thing where you can do song requests too that add automatically, which is really interesting. I shout Rainbow Sheep out. I think I can remember her username. Well, it doesn't help if I add extra E's. Thank you, fingers. Rainbow Sheep. Or not? You gonna do the thing? Did you turn off Streamlabs? Might be time I need to sign back in. No, you're there, so why didn't you do the do, buddy? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not actually the username. Or maybe my laptop's gonna implode. No, okay, fine, be that way. Oh, cool. Yeah, I have no underscore. Thank you, stars. I swear I know who my friends are. Work. Thank you. Yeah, so Rainbow has Spotify and has used some sort of bot. I'm not sure, I didn't ask. To do song requests automatically, especially with ones where like they have to change it over different social medias because it's something that other people want. That's yeah, it adds to the confusion. But Rainbow's cool. Rainbow does arts as well. I can never successfully lurk if I say anything in chat. It's impossible for me. I can time you out if you need to lurk. Okay. Oh, we've been live for 2 hours. That's something. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a quick break and run some ads so that Twitch gets off my ass about it. I mean, will that really work? No. They'll still nag me about it, but I also could use a stretch break, so I say as I continue working. Maybe when I go through and do I'm considering something and not finishing my sentences. Well, I don't time people out on purpose. I haven't had that issue so far. I mean, maybe one day we'll get big and somebody will be in here and be a butthole, but not so far. I did have some of the graphic designers from Twitter in here trying to do stuff, and I was just mean to them. Well, I wasn't mean to them. I set down the boundary. They didn't come back, so. Yeah. I generally... Yeah, so I've had people in, like, the actual Twitch chat come in and go, remember me? I'm like, remember you from what? One, anybody who comes in and immediately says, do you remember me? is annoying. Like, there's no way around that. Because the people who say, do you remember me? Have no reason to be remembered. Ever. That's just, it's impossible. And so they'd come in, and so I'd already be a little on edge with them, and I'd be like, should I remember you? Is always my response. They're like, I followed you on Twitter, and I look at my phone, and I'm like, they followed me 30 seconds ago. How would I remember you? I don't even know you. Like, what? What? Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I don't do that while I'm live. If you want to hang out and have a chat, that's fine. If you're just here to try to get me to follow you back on Twitter, we aren't going to be friends. And they usually get pissy about it and leave. And then I ban them after stream. Yeah, for real. Like, the way you network is you're nice to people. It's really not that hard. Like, I don't get why people find it so difficult. Although I guess it works for them to show up to art streams and be like, hey, your art kind of sucks. Can I make art for you? Because it's working for other people, I guess. But it's like, I like making my own things. Bye. I don't know. I don't get it. Could not be me. They do, for sure. Yeah. But it seems to be working a little bit for him. Because some people take him up on the offer. But also, like, any person who does that, their art is just traced and sucks. Like, it's so clearly traced. It's so clearly traced. Yeah, same. It is. It is just a cheat. Yep. Yeah, you've always had a long username, Parker. For sure. But people usually ask me what to call me because they'll call me Tundra for like a solid 5 minutes and they'll go, wait, is it okay that I'm calling you that? And I'm like, any part of the username's fine. It's really not a big deal. I probably respond to Tundra faster than I respond to Katie at this point because there's so many Katies that if you're out in public and somebody shouts Katie, You just assume they aren't talking about you. Because there's just so many of us. I mean, there's fewer now, I think, because the name fell out of fashion because it was so popular. But lots of Katies in the world. Lots of them. But only one me. Yeah, as long as I know that people are talking to me, I really don't care. I do not like being called Kate, though. That's the one name that I do not want to be called ever. Um, Only my grandma is allowed to call me Kate. And that's because when I was in high school, I dated a guy named Tate. And people thought they were so funny making all these rhymes for the entire 3 years we were dating. And I got so over it. So now nobody gets to call me Kate. They ruined it for everybody. Going on a date with Tate. Don't forget to close the gate. Gah, gah, gah. No, I can tell that you aren't talking to me, Goose. It's all good. But it's a thing where there are a lot of Katies and a lot of Kates and cats and what have you because it's a popular name. So yeah, it was constant. It was constant. So I'd always it's because it rhymes as well. I'd always call them a filthy ingrate. That's what I started doing at 15 years old when these adults would shut up with their rhymes. It was so annoying. It was so annoying. Oh, I put that right there. I was like, where the hell did I put my paint palette? It's right there. Okay, I am going to take a quick break, which means I'm going to run some ads. So if you don't want to see, adults, all the time. It was always adults who did that to me. It was not people my age or younger. Always. His mom really enjoyed doing that. We didn't get along though, so. Because I was his first real girlfriend, and she felt like I was horning in on her territory, and it was very obvious. Yeah. I've known a few Parkers, but none of them have interacted with each other. It's a less common one. Parker and Hunter were kind of like two semi-popular names, but not like super popular. Yeah, yeah. I've run into a couple of those in my life, and it's a great sign that you aren't going to stay with that person forever, generally speaking, because if they don't take your side against their mom, then they aren't going to take your side any other time. So, I called it. Called it, Parker. I knew it. I knew it. Okay, I'm taking a break. I'm going to run some ads. So if you don't want to see the ads, look away, mute the tab, go up and get a stretch break, get a snack. I don't know, do something nice for yourself. Do a couple wall push-ups. I don't know, do what you want to do. But there will be ads, so you can, I'm warning you, so you can look away. But that way, Twitch will get off my ass for an hour about it. Okay, I will be right back. I have returned. Why is this song so quiet? Who are you? You are getting yeeted. There we go. Why was it so quiet? Nobody knows. Alright. Anyway, hi, I'm back. I'm realizing just now that I did not change the to-do text today. That's fine though. It can stay weird. Whatever. Okay. I keep moving my paint palette and then immediately forgetting where I set it. One day, I'll get to set up my desk and have a real space. One of these days. So I think I want to do a gray background, which I think I'm going to do first. And then I can work on these guys while I'm waiting for that to dry. I think that's the way it's going to go. We'll find out though. I may want... Oh, which gray do I want to do? Probably warm gray. I think that's the right call. Because one of the, I don't know, the fun things about these quilt blocks is that it's an excuse to change, like, to play with color. But also, it's trying to figure out how to make something read as being mainly the one color, while also making it visually interesting. So having a color be a focus, but not be the only color that's there. I think gray and orange look nice together. I think gray and everything looks nice together, if I'm honest, but gray is an underutilized color, in my opinion. Actually, one of my teachers in high school had the last name Gray, and it was because, this is a great story. I hope she doesn't mind me telling it, but she told it to us, so I'm sure it's fine. But her mother had gotten a bit high one day in the 60s, as you do, you know, common human thing to do, get high in the 60s, and was hanging out on the beach and decided that she was going to name herself Gray, last name Gray, because gray was so versatile and there were so many shades of it. I don't know, that story stuck with me since I was, how old would I have been? I would have been 14, 15? Around there, maybe 16. That story about this person's mom, who I never met, I don't remember if she was still around when we were her students. But never met her. Think she's cool. Influenced my view of gray in a significant way. I very much liked her daughter, the teacher that I had. She was a history teacher and just generally a cool person. Many history teachers are cool people, but some aren't. Because gray is like a super versatile color. It is. And it's underappreciated. Like, it's everywhere. Like, it's in the sky, it's in the sea. It's in man-made things, it's in not man-made things. It's everywhere. And nobody does it like gray does. That's a fact. Because, like, yeah, we have a lot of shades of blue or whatever. But gray just slaps. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. History is either taught by, like, a super radical weirdo, some weird little nerd who is only teaching so that they can afford more books, or it's like the weirdest military hard ass you've ever met in your life. I minored in history in college, so I ran into a few of them. And in Alaska, we have a lot of military personnel. Um, Not many of them still teach, but they're definitely out there. Although I didn't do any military history, which is where you usually run into those. So, okay, I need to let that gray dry a little bit, but let's play with some red on our scales over here. But I love the little weirdos who just want more money to do their thing. They're so great. One of my favorite teachers, Go Streamer Chan. That's the name of the song, and I always get excited when it comes on when I'm streaming. But in my last semester, and I guess the semester before that, I'd already taken classes from this teacher. But one of my history teachers, I was doing basically, I ended up doing something that I wanted to do as a thesis if I made it into grad school, which I then didn't. Thank you, mental health. But he let me go like way off book for my paper. So I did it was like a term long, a semester long research paper about the area in history we were studying, which was the Gilded and Progressive eras. And I decided to do like a kind of ethnographic study of cultural changes through clothing. So I was looking specifically at African Americans who had just been freed from slavery and Native groups in the US and how their clothing changes kind of marked cultural shifts from the US being buttholes is the short version there. So I was marking like the addition of red in Navajo clothing and cloth, their weaving specifically, and the change from like quills and elk tooth into seed beads in the Sioux tribes, and how that changed with genocide, basically. And eventually maybe I'll go get a master's degree and actually do that properly. It is a topic I find interesting, and it's one that hasn't really been covered much, or hadn't when I was doing that, which was a while ago, so maybe somebody has stepped up. It wasn't me, though. Maybe I may want to do this in colored pencil after I get the red edges down. Except for the sparkle, which will go last. Anyway. I don't know. Some days I miss school. I miss college, but I think that's more just, it's less actually missing the place and more missing a structure. Like, I do enjoy learning, but I can do that on my own. Yeah, like just having a set amount of goals and a distinguished end date. So, like, if you mess up, it's okay because you get a reset at the end of the semester. I miss that for sure. I could also stand to take some classes and get some actual certifications and some stuff like Excel. Even though, like, anything they taught me in the class in Excel I would know already. But because I'm a nerd who likes to make spreadsheets. I guess I have taken online classes in Excel, but freebie ones. I am. I know how to do conditional formatting. I know how to do pivot tables. I know how to make graphs. I know how to do my formulas. Although I do think I don't use pivot tables very often because I find them cumbersome in comparison to the way that I usually do stuff. Which, like, instead of having, because pivot tables you can only have like one on each sheet. But the way I do it, I can just write a formula that pulls all that information and puts it all on to one sheet instead of having to spread out the pivot tables through like 5 of them. And yeah, it breaks more often, but also it looks prettier. And don't we all want our data to look prettier? Probably not, but I do. I do want to figure out how to do forms. That's my next, the next time the hyperfocus hits. Because I was trying to figure out how to, how do I explain this? This is going to involve some backstory. Yeah, well, it's so easy to just research something. So easy. So even if you don't really have great Excel skills, you can say you do on your resume because you're just going to Google it. You're just going to Google it. It's fine. But I keep a huge spreadsheet for Jick of all of his shiny information because Shiny Dex, which is the website a lot of Pokemon streamers use to keep track of their shinies, is kind of on its last legs. It's not quite dead yet, but it's getting there. So I pulled all the information, and I say pulled, I painstakingly hand transferred all of that data into a spreadsheet that I keep updated, which means that I also have like a stats page that's better than the one that Shiny Dex has. But I learned how to do a lot of fancy stuff with that one. And I can show it to you, Adam. If I remember after stream, I'll send you a link to it so you can see how insane I actually am. Because it's pretty crazy. I get crazy with them formulas. Because it's just on Google Sheets, so which is a little bit different than Excel. Like there are some things that Google Sheets can't do that Excel can do, but it's mostly comparable. Although I haven't kept that updated lately because Jick hasn't been streaming as much and I often am not able to be there for the whole time. I think kind of keeping track of shinies like that is gonna go with Shiny Dex in the end, but it does mean that I have all that information when it's like, oh, have you hunted X? Then yes, he has. He did that in June of 2019. Here's the clip. But I did learn a whole lot of fun new things to do what I wanted to do on that. Although there's one thing I still haven't figured out how to do it the way that I want. Which it might be impossible to do it the way that I want, but they should make it possible. Which is, it requires like a lot of background work. I got it kind of working, but not quite because the way Excel pulls numbers, it'll do it in order. So it won't actually look at all of the different informations that you put into it all the time. It'll just pull the first number that matches going downwards instead of actually pulling the one that matches all the data across. So I was trying to figure out a way to list like the longest and shortest hunts for specific shiny hunting methods, but because it pulls any number that matches and not just the one that matches all of the data across the row, it won't do it right. I'm sure I can figure out how to do it. Probably. But I got frustrated with it and haven't gone back to it because the hyper focus juice was gone. I've also kind of been doing like a lot of other stuff. I don't know if you guys noticed. But I started streaming, and I started trying to make money off of art, and I took my mental health by the hair and dragged it along with me, which is a lot of work in and of itself. Ooh. What do I want to do with you? I think maybe a thinner brush. Just kind of outline things a little bit funky. But what color do I want to do that with? Could do a green. I could do a blue. Could do cobalt teal. That would be pretty. Let's do that. Do I really have an idea for what I'm doing with this? Only vaguely. So we'll see how it turns out. But also, it's not that serious. It's not that serious, girly pop. I maybe should be using a lighter brush for this, but whatever. It's fine. I should write down that I want to send that to Adam at the end of stream, otherwise I will forget. Yeah, see, I just had something like very loosely outlined that gives the wibbly shapes more shape, which wibbly is a technical term, in case you were wondering. Ugh. Notes. Okay, there we go. I wrote it down. Whether or not I actually remember to do it is a different matter entirely, but an attempt was made. Yeah, same, Adam. And I'm really bad about that when I'm streaming too, because I don't have like my usual journal out here. I just have my sketchbook. Which you may be thinking, Katie, you control what you take out when you stream, so you could bring it. And yes, you're right, I could bring it out here. But in my experience, when I've done that, what actually happens is I forget it out here, and then I stop using my journal, and then my brain tries to eat itself. So it's a choice that I could make, but it doesn't go great. Because there was like a solid month where I was like, oh, I need to go get my journal from the living room, and I didn't do that, and I didn't write down any of the brain wiggles into the journal, and they got worse. Wild concept. I kind of think that this looks vaguely like a flower, so we're just gonna go with that. Because I have definitely realized that, because in my journal, I do like a daily tarot card draw, and then I do just kind of like a free write at the end of the day about what happened during the day. And I've definitely noticed that if I don't do that, things build up in my brain. And then I get brain bads worse than normal. Which, like, I already have brain bad. I don't need extra brain bad. There was definitely a point there where I wasn't doing that, and it made everything worse. It's almost like getting things out of your brain keeps things out of your brain. Who knew? Oh man, I also mentioned that I was going to have to, last time I think, that a book came up from my, a book that I had on hold came up that was going to be a little bit of a hard read. It has turned out to not be a hard read. I got 50% through the book in one night. Because it's a memoir of somebody's rough childhood, basically. Which involves an alcoholic parent and some other stuff. So I was like, oh, this may be a rough read because I'm going to relate to this in certain ways. And I am relating to it in certain ways, but in different ways than I expected. But really, it's turned out to be like me listening to the hot goss is kind of how the book has gone down. So I was like listening to it and I was like, this is horrifying. I need to keep listening. Because I did get it as an audiobook, this one. Although I did get another book on hold that's an actual book that I've been reading too. Which I don't get it yet. I hope that I do get it, but right now I don't. It's what is it called? This Is How You Lose the Time War, which had a thing where like, I don't know if it was Tumblr specifically, but a bunch of people like latched onto this book super hard to the point it became a bestseller when it wasn't expected to be, and like libraries were having trouble keeping it in stock and stuff. So it kind of became like a sensation overnight kind of dealio. I can see why, like I can see why people like it, but I just don't get it yet. I'll probably get it at some point, but is a strange narrative, I guess, narrative style, which makes sense, as you might guess from there being time war in the title. Welcome back. Chili is good when you're chilly. Was it Twitter? Yeah. It was something like that. I couldn't full on remember, but I saw it on the list and I was like, of things that I could rent out. And I was like, yeah, sure, we'll try that. Why not? It is interesting. I don't think that I'm the target audience, which is also fine. Do I want to do more lines on that? I don't think I do. I think I should leave it. It is well written, but I don't know. I'm finding the narrative difficult to follow. Which may also be because I read before bed when my brain is a little bit fried. So, okay, I think I want to work on pumpkins. And then I want to go back over this with some colored pencil, I think. And then do the sparkles. Which probably I'm going to do that pumpkin spice one. Or maybe I want to do gold, straight up gold. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I need to stop overthinking. As if I'm going to stop overthinking. Oh yeah, you guys have been colder. It's like 20 here today. Y'all have been colder than Alaska for the past while. We got one super cold spell this winter, but we've mostly just had a lot of snow, which is a trial in and of itself, but especially since we have a dipshit for a governor. But you know how it is. Not so much. Well, okay. So long story. I think some people will remember me saying that my stream schedule for the summer might have been a little bit weird because we were supposed to have our roof redone. That didn't happen. So it's probably going to be next summer. But that also means that we need to like really watch our roof with all the snow because snow is heavy. And our roof is old. And we should be fine, like structurally, but both my brother and I are a little bit nervous about it. So he's been shoveling the roof in the spot of our house that's causing the major issue. Like we do need all the shingles replaced, but I'm probably gonna go back over this with colored pencil too, I think. So like kind of wonderful, but also no. Yeah. But we had a lot of snow last winter too, and there were a lot of places in town that just collapsed. Yeah, true stars. Oh, that's right. I saw you mention that now that you said that because you've had snow falling off of your house, right? Because you got your roof done. I remember now. I forgot, but then I remember. Also, just like how great does this orange pop against the gray? It's so pretty. Good color choice, past Katie. And I am leaving this a bit sloppy on purpose, just for the record. There's like color overlap. Yeah, I'm sure it's just like shooting off of there. We do have, luckily, the roof design that isn't prone to collapsing. The ones that have collapsed up here have been those like big flat roofs, like apartment complexes have and stuff like that, businesses have. But because our garage is mildly structure weird, we're nervous about it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Theoretically, we're near the top of the list for our roof getting reshingled next summer. Well, this coming summer. Hopefully we can actually have that happen. Because I'd like to get it out of the way. It shouldn't take like crazy long or anything unless I find something like horrifying underneath the shingles. But as previously mentioned, I'm an introvert and I kind of don't want people around my house. Which I don't think is just an introvert thing, but... Summer, we haven't had anything too wild. We had like a lot of rain last summer. A lot of rain. To the point that we were in flood warning for like the majority of the summer. We've had one really big heat wave, which wouldn't count as a heat wave other places, but we got up into like the 80s and 90s in Anchorage, which is very unusual. The interior of the state often gets up that high, but not near the ocean. That was a few years ago. And it's just god awful because all of our houses are made to hold in heat. So there's like no way to cool the house down, and it's awful. Yeah, it's more just like I don't want to be witnessed. Like there are times when I allow myself to be perceived, like right now. Hi. But for the most part, I want to sit like a little gremlin in my house by myself, where nobody can see me or hear me or smell me. Yeah, here that's really hot. We usually sit in like the 70s. This is all Fahrenheit, in case that wasn't clear. But we had one summer where it was really hot. So I stayed up one night until like 4 in the morning with all the windows open in the house to try to get the house down, like inside the house down to 84. And if I'm being honest, I think that summer is what finally did our cat in. Because he was a long-haired cat and he was just too hot the whole summer. And he was already like old, but I think the heat was too much for him. But it also got to the point where like every fan in the entire state was sold out. There were no fans at all. And there was like a run on them on Amazon to the point that the prices went up. It was wild. Yeah, we don't have air conditioning, generally speaking. Like there are a few of the bigger buildings that have air conditioning, but in your house, generally speaking, no air conditioning. Lots of windows that face the sun is common up here, which means that you're getting more heat in throughout the day. And specifically facing the sun during summer, because we're so far north, the angle changes pretty drastically. So where the sun is actually poking is different. But yeah, so it was kind of just like, it's a perfect storm if it gets hot for everything to be a disaster. Do I want to use Posca? Let's use Posca. Why not? I don't remember how many oranges you have. Oh, one. Alright, we're probably going to use a combo then. Well, I do think, in good news, that the Red Bull kind of blasted some of the depression out of my head, so that's nice. We'll see if it comes back after I come down off the sugar caffeine high. I don't have that much caffeine super often, but sometimes you just gotta put a lot of substance into your body to make your brain shut up. And caffeine is probably the lesser of the evils on those choices. I do need to decide before I put this colored pencil down which scales I want to be shiny. Because the colored pencil will keep the watercolor from sticking. Yeah, you can keep it, Parker. Go for it. I'll take the earthquakes and the snow, I guess. I'm lucky though, because my brother does the snow removal for our house, so I don't have to worry about that part at least. If I lived up here by myself, I'd probably go with a condo so that somebody else was responsible for the snow removal. I think I want to do this one as gold, so I'm just gonna slap a little bit of colored pencil in all the ones around it so that I remember that I want that one to be gold. Where else do I want one? Probably right here. Yeah, weather has been crazy. There was definitely, I don't think it was in Iowa, but there was one in the Midwest when my some of my family lived there, like older family, where it got down to -50. I remember them telling me about that because one of my great aunts, I think it was, walked outside and her nylons shattered because it was so cold out. And that's pretty dang cold. Although my family is also prone to exaggeration, so that may not be 100% accurate. Do I just want two? Maybe I want to do one of these ones up here. Yeah, we get colder than that pretty regularly, but it's Alaska, so. I could take the tape off of this, but it would be a mess for the other one that I want to remain taped, so. Are you mostly dry? You can do your stems. Once I get these done, I just have to cut them, and then that's not as onerous a task. Although I probably should end soonish just so that I eat lunch, because I'm bad at eating lunch. But it's important that I do so, or I become a heinous bitch instead of the lovable bitch that I am currently. Ooh, that's cold. That's heckin' cold. Yeah, that's wild. We're like the only place in the world that gets tornadoes. We meaning the US. They just aren't a thing anyplace else, which is wild to me. It's like if we had a Loch Ness monster, but it was just air attacking you. Mm-hmm. I don't know, tornadoes freak me out. I'd probably get used to them if I lived someplace where they were, but I don't, so there you go. I just get earthquakes and tsunami warnings. Which, to be fair, was a thing where I grew up too, so it's not as dramatic. I think maybe I want another one right here. Yeah, pretty much. Because, like, so there was a camp that I went to a bunch growing up, because I grew up in Oregon, for anybody who doesn't know, near the coast. And there was a camp that we went to growing up that had tsunami warning signs all over the place. And one of the, I don't know, the safety things, like they give you a little safety talk whenever you show up at camp. One of the safety things was what to do in a tsunami. Have I ever seen a tsunami? No. Have I ever had to follow those things? No. But I know what to do. If you see the water go out really fast, you run and you get to the highest point that you can get to. Do I still have nightmares about tsunamis? Yes. Yes, I do. Tsunamis and like just big waves in the ocean are a very regular thing in my dreams. Actually, I will pull out a dream journal where I did that. Yeah, do not follow to see where the water has gone. Definitely don't do that. Those are those, and these are those, and this is that. Ugh, it's in here somewhere. I would really like to have a better organized art area. I need a file folder, like a proper one. This one. It says the wave finds me, overtakes me, sweeps away everything except my breath. That's what it says. It's hard to read, I think. But yeah, because I regularly have dreams where a tsunami like sweeps me into the ocean, but I can still breathe somehow. Yeah. Yeah, Parker. There's things that like you just get used to, for sure. So like I'm really good at telling how long rain is gonna last because I grew up in a place where it rained all the time. So like there are things that your brain internalizes even if you don't realize that it's happening. So you have like a knowledge base. Anyway, I was gonna do the stems on the pumpkins. Let's do that before I forget again. And at some point I will stop streaming. Because I had a bunch of caffeine, I feel great right now, but I'm gonna feel not great in like 20 minutes. So I need to remember this. Yeah, we never really like we learned how to do that, but we didn't really need to know for any particular reason. Like it wasn't a safety issue, it was just a fun little, I don't know, party trick. Yeah, I figured. Because it's connected to your other stuff. I've never been in a hurricane either. I don't know. The wind. The wind. I haven't had to deal with so much. I think maybe I will paint the sparkles now because I can. And I do think that I want to do like a bright gold. Oh, I also have that super pinky orangey one that I could do. I think gold will look better. Let's do gold. And we'll see how quickly I put my hand in wet paint. And then I will figure out somebody to raid, I think. Because I can either save this for Tuesday, or I can work on them off stream after I have put food in my body. What am I gonna have for lunch? That's another question that I need to come up with an answer for. I will need to look and see who's live. Because usually Linda would be live, but I don't think she is because she has a wedding to go to this weekend. And Lib will be live later, so you can find me there later today for sure. But I'll have a look at my follow list and see what's up. Grilled cheese involves too many steps for me, I think. I definitely will always eat a grilled cheese, but I do not always have enough of a want of the grilled cheese to make a grilled cheese. Although often if I ask my brother nicely, he will grill me a cheese. There, we got 3 little sparkly scales, and it looks basically no different on... I'm glad I got to see you, Adam. It's always nice. I don't know if you knew this, Adam, but I like you. I enjoy your company. You and Lib both. Yeah, no, for sure. And my brother will often grill me a cheese if I ask nicely, so because he's a nice bean like that. Let me see who's live. Where did I put my phone? There it is. Because it's easier for me to just open the app on my phone to see who's live. Okay. Doop, 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 doop. Oh, there's a lot of people live today. Holy cow. Wait, Carolyn is still live? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, Brother Bean is like a cooking extraordinaire. So I feed myself breakfast and mostly lunch, and then he always does dinner. Except now that he's taking classes at the university, I've been doing dinners for some of the days when he has classes, just because it's easier on him. But yeah, he really likes cooking. So he does most of that. I'm also just bad at feeding myself. I get overwhelmed by like how many steps it takes to do a food a lot. Which is why I end up eating what is lovingly called girl dinner. So I'll have like a couple Milanos while I'm standing in the kitchen staring at stuff, and then I'll eat some popcorn, and I'll have some pickles, and then I'll have like a slice of cheese. That counts as a meal. Is Carolyn really live? It's so late for her. But if she is, that's where we're going, because Carolyn is niceys. Yeah, it does say she's still alive. All right, let's go bother Carolyn. Let me see and make sure she's not ending, actually. 'Cause she's usually not here this late. She's usually a morning person because she lives in Tennessee. I love popcorn all the time. I love popcorn so much. It's my favorite food. You wanna load? Load? Please? Please? No, you don't wanna load. Alright, we're just gonna raid in, and if she's ending, then she's ending, and it's fine. Because, as previously mentioned, I'm gonna end up at Libstream at 3 o'clock my time anyway, so. Or whenever they go live, I guess is more accurate. No, looks like she's still going. Okay, we're gonna raid Caroline. She is so sweet and niceys, and I love her. And she also does some super cool art. Hey Al, how have you not been following me? Bad friend alert. What the heck? Okay, ending screen, because that's the thing that I do. And then I will do a raid. You came in just in time to go meet somebody else. That's fair. We do have opposite time zones, well and truly. I'm sure I will see most of you other places. I'm trying to make sure that I'm spelling the name right, and I think I am. Okay. I also have raid commands now. So we can copy and paste those. So Carolyn is really nice. She does art. You saw some of her stickers when I did my sticker book a while back. She does some Pokemon art too. She has a really nice Magikarp print in her shop. But she's just generally a super nice person and very accepting and kind. So we'll go visit her today. You can copy those raid messages. The one with the follower emote is for subs, and then we've got the basic emoji for the other one. Thank you for being here and hanging out, and thank you BP so much for all the biddies. You definitely have number one bit giver for all time, and not just today. And I will see you all next time. I'll be live again on Tuesday, but as previously mentioned, I'll be hanging out in other people's streams because I actually do know how to network, unlike the people from Twitter. So you will be able to find me other places. Remember that you're loved, be kind to yourselves, and take care of yourselves. And if you can't do that for yourself, please do it for me, because I think you're awesome and deserve nice things, and that includes from yourself. And I will be around and see y'all later. Bye!